Good afternoon, everybody. We are back to Big Men Campus, and we are live. Friday, February 24th, 2017. I am the man, the myth, the legend, the big man on campus. I'm back here with you live, breaking it down. Spontaneous Friday podcast. After we did the show today at 12:30 at sbrforum.com, SBR Sports Picks on Twitter, the right side of campus, Donnie Right Side and I. We ran out of time, but I figured I'd roll it over here and hopefully give out a couple free plays that I was looking at and have some fun tonight. I don't normally bet Fridays for premium plays, so I figured, have some fun, talk about some stuff, and see where we're at tonight with college basketball. First-time listener, long-time listener, first-time signing in. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Welcome. Hopefully you enjoy the show. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to jump on the chat box. They need you to run that show for at least an hour. Yeah, we're pushing. We're going to try to get more time. We just had a scheduling conflict today with a presenter. They do other videos there, so I guess they had to use the room for filming, and I guess that wasn't made aware to the person after. So no biggie. We got most of our stuff out. Nikki T, Ben, the Buzz, welcome. Everyone out there that's listening in the Spreaker and Twitter universe, welcome. Thank you for listening. We're growing one by one, guys, day by day. We're really starting to do some nice things. We have our own show at SBR at this point. We have this show that's been fun for everybody, and we're growing day by day. I'll get there soon enough. So if you're out there listening, you want to see me fail, well, might as well just jump on the rave. What's up, Mike? What's up, Ryan? Welcome. Let's jump into Friday's action here, and feel free to ask me anything, ask me a question, whether it's about sports or not. I have no problem answering it. What do we got here? Let's jump into it. Oakland, Wisconsin, Green Bay, 7 o'clock Eastern, game number 861, 862. This one opened Green Bay -1. It's up to -2. A lot of public money coming in on the over in this game. And I mentioned on the show earlier on SBR, I would look under in this game. I mean, I think sometimes with the Horizon League, some of these totals are set a little bit high. I will, Nick, no problem. These totals are set a little high, if you ask me. And I think if this one was 150, 151, 152, maybe I'd look over. But at 162, I think the value here is in the under. This one opened 157. It's gotten betting all the way up to 162. I'm even see some 162 and a halves. 162 and a half at 5 dimes. So that's a 5.5 point move from the open. 84% of the money is on the over. Listen, I like the way Oakland's played defense this year. I like the renewed focus on defense. And again, I mean, Oakland's just a team that, they're pushing tempo, but they're not really. I mean, they're not as high tempo as they were last year. Still, again, I mean, they like to score the basketball and kind of run up into the court. But like I said, the renewed defensive focus and look, I mean, they're only giving up under 70 points a game at home, and opponents are shooting only 38.5%. So, I definitely think in this one, I think the under's worth a look. I could definitely see this one falling, 80 to 74 or something. I mean, you need both teams to get to 80, basically. Green Bay is very high tempo, but when you're backing it over, you want both teams really high tempo, and again, Green Bay's 5th, but then you look for Oakland, and they're not at 85th, which is still pretty high. But I got to be honest, I think this is one of those where you kind of buck the trends and go, kind of the opposite way. I just, with an over, like last night with some of the overs that I bet. You look at the shooting percentages, very high. But you look at Green Bay, I mean, they're not a particularly high shooting percentage. Oakland is not as good on the road offensively. And both these teams, for what it's worth defensively, they're only averaging and giving up about 40 and 42%. That's not high. So, I don't know. I'd take a shot. I mean, I'm not in love with this play, but if I had to play it, I would probably go under the total here. And look, 7 of 10 on Oakland's road schedules have gone over or under this year, so I'll go under. Brown, Dartmouth, no opinion. Princeton, Columbia. Princeton's kind of the class of the Ivy League, playing good basketball right now. They're kind of just, barreling through the Ivy League. They've not lost yet in this Ivy League, and it's been because of the defense. I mean, their defense has been fantastic, only giving up about 62.5 a game, and over the last 5, it's been almost impossible to score against Princeton. I mean, they've just played really, really good basketball. I don't want to jump in front of what Princeton's doing right now, but as I've said before, I don't get too involved with the Ivy League. Penn, Cornell, I'm not interested in laying 5.5 points on the road with with Penn. Just not a smart investment, if you ask me. Yale, Harvard. Harvard -5 over under 140. Harvard, another team that I think is probably going to challenge to win this conference with the likes of the Princetons. Look, you want a team that covers Harvard. 11-4 against the spread this year. Been great as a favorite. Been good on the road. But again, or been good at home. 6-2 at home. And they've won 9 of 12. So, I don't know. Yale, again, not Makai Mason's been out. That's kind of hurt them all year. Kind of really knocked down what they might have been able to be this year. I think in this one, I don't want to step in front of what Harvard's doing. I mean, this Harvard team giving up 62 points a game at home. So, again, another team very difficult to score on. I don't know. Not a particularly huge lean on it, but I guess I'll go Harvard. Illinois, Chicago, +8.5 against Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky, another team, very good against the spread. 16-9 on the year, but so is Illinois, Chicago. I mean, they were a moneymaker for a lot of the year, up basically until the middle of conference play. Thanks, Monroy. Really appreciate that. The only game that I would really be interested in right so far is that Oakland under. This one, another tough one here. Both these teams really good against the spread. I think the one thing that Northern Kentucky does in this matchup, they're much better defensively than Illinois, Chicago. Northern Kentucky is also at home. They've had a really nice home atmosphere. 81 points a game, shooting almost 50%. They're 10-2 at home this year, and I mentioned it before. This team is really starting kind of buying into what they're selling down there. Northern Kentucky, if you don't know, they've only been D1 for 2 years or so. So they're kind of starting to believe that they can play in Division I. I mean, they came over to Division I in 2013, so it's been about 4 years now. But John Brennan, he's done some good things there. I mean, they have some high-level players. They have some guys that can definitely take a game over. They have plenty of guys. I mean, you look at like a Drew McDonald or a Cole Murray or Levon Holland. They have good guard play. As far as Illinois, Chicago, they're just kind of I don't know. They're just not the team they were. They used to cover. Now the defense has just kind of been all over the place. I jinx them whenever I take Northern Kentucky. Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have teams like that, man. You just got to kind of stay away. So no real opinion in that one. Valpo, Wright State. I would play Valpo here on the money line. I would probably kind of just swallow it and take it and bet the money line here. Listen, I think Valpo has to have this game. Oakland's breathing down their neck. Oakland has a big game tonight as well. Like I said on the show, if you want to hear my breakdown on this game, you can definitely listen into the show. I would actually recommend you listen to the show earlier today. We went in depth into this game, and Donnie and I both had opinions on it. Detroit, Wisconsin, Milwaukee. In a spot like this, I think you're definitely seeing some bites coming out of for Detroit. This one opened 5. It's down to 3.5. I think in a game like this, why can't Detroit win? I mean, why can't you just take the +150 and have a nice plus money price back? Yeah, I know Detroit's not great on the road, but I mean, this Milwaukee team's terrible. I mean, they're 4-12 straight up in conference. They're not good defensively. And I know neither is Detroit, but in a coin flip kind of game, I'll take Jaleel Hogan on my team over anyone else. So I would take a shot here with Detroit money line. I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of the spot last night for Utah. I just think Detroit's a better team than Milwaukee. Milwaukee's bad. They're a bad team. Dayton Davidson, no real opinion. I don't like either of these teams. I guess Dayton would probably be the play there. Looks kind of like a short line, but this Dayton team's playing well. They're covering numbers, been great on the road, and they're kind of rolling in conference. So, for me, I've talked about Davidson. I like a multitude of options. They really only have one or two. They're a lot like Central Michigan. If their two guys aren't playing well, Gibbs and Aldridge, they don't play well. So this Dayton team, I'm not really looking to jump in front of right now. Oregon State Cal. We talked about this one on the show as well. I didn't have much of an opinion on it. Donnie mentioned he kind of liked the dog here. If you gave me money and said bet on it, I would probably. I'll be honest. I would probably burn the money instead. I just don't want to bet on it. Manhattan Iona, another one I don't want to bet on. Have no real interest in it. I guess just from the standpoint of Masiello and the rivalry that these schools have, maybe take the points here with Manhattan. But because Iona, at the end of the day, they're not very good defensively. They're going to let teams hang around. Look at what Marist did. And the big thing here for me, over the last 9 games, as a home favorite of 9.5 to 12 points, Iona 3-6 ATS. So I'm not really interested in laying 10 points with Iona. I actually gave it out as a free play on last Friday's show against Marist, and they couldn't get any separation. So if you're laying 10 points, good luck. Do I like the Sixers tonight? No, I don't. We talked about the Sixers enough last night. I'm not going to get into that anymore. No, I don't like them tonight. Siena Monmouth, another one I don't really have an opinion on. It's senior day in West Long Branch, so maybe they come out with a little bit of fervor, but another game I have no interest in. Fairfield Canisius, again, another game I'd rather burn my money than bet on. St. Peter's Niagara, this is another one we talked about in depth on the show earlier. I mentioned, listen, I love St. Peter's. They've been a total moneymaker. My concern is at some point the luster with them is going to run out. But you look at what they've done. Very good against the spread. 10-1 on the road this year. They've covered 14 of 18. My concern for this one is when I back an underdog, I will point out Niagara has a lot of the things tonight that I look for when backing an underdog. And again, I don't think St. Peter's is going to fall off the wagon here, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do. This is definitely a spot late in the season. You're kind of cruising. You're in your conference tournament no matter what. You're going to get a pretty high seed. But yeah, again, St. Peter's great defensively. They should handle Niagara tonight, but I'm concerned. I'm not as quick to run to the window and bet this team. Again, 4 or 5 games ago, I would have liked it, but right now, I'm just going to let and see what happens with St. Peter's. They should get the job done tonight, though. Yeah, dude, you're late. I talked about Penn Cornell. I have no opinion. Yeah, Jay, you're about 17 minutes late. We've been through most of the games already. But you can gladly listen back to the playback, and I'll recap any games that I mentioned. Next one. This is the one that I'm going to definitely recommend. I like this play here at 6 o'clock Eastern. Yep, talked about it. Sorry, man. I'm going to go with Toledo tonight. I'm going to lay the points here with them. I don't really see why I would want to back Central Michigan here in this spot. And I know people fall in love. By the way, if you want a 7.5, you have Bovada. You get 7.5 on this game that we're looking at here. But I'm going to lay the 8 here. And there's a couple reasons why I'm going to lay the 8 here. First of all, Central Michigan's not playing well. They failed to cover in 4 or 5. They're 6-8 on the road this year against the spread. And, my concern with Central Michigan is I think people have fallen a little bit too in love with Marcus Keene. And listen, Marcus Keene's a great player. The problem is most teams already know that in this conference. And they're not going to get beaten twice by Marcus Keene. These teams played before. Central Michigan won it. They won by 8 back on January 13th. And in that game, Central Michigan did their normal thing. drop 95 points and kind of run all over somebody. But it's hard to beat a team twice, first of all. And it's also hard to do the same thing twice. You look at in that game, Central Michigan, 48%. They shot 27 free throws and made 11 threes. Marcus Keenan and Braylon Rayson had 48 points combined. I just look at the game in Toledo. Toledo has a lot to play for. They're still seeding in this conference. There's still revenge in this conference. And I look at some of the particulars on how to shut down Marcus Keenan. It's good guard play. Toledo has it. Jalen Sanford and Jonathan Williams are two really good guards. Two guys don't get a whole lot of credit. And I've also noticed when you watch Central Michigan, they get eaten up against good bigs. And even bigs that, you might not think we're going to do too much. But you look at Steve Taylor, the big for Toledo, he's a man. 16 points a game, over 12 boards a game. He's one of the best rebounders in the country, Steve Taylor. He should have a field day against Central Michigan. Central Michigan has literally, they don't have much down low. Just going to put that out there. And Steve Taylor, third in the country in rebounds per game. This kid can rebound with the best of them. Let me just tell you how crazy Steve Taylor is. In the last game against Western Michigan, he had 23 rebounds. In the last 3 games, he has 46 rebounds. In 3 games. That's unreal. He should have a field day against Central Michigan. And I think in this one, again, Central Michigan's become kind of a darling for bettors. They like Central Michigan. They like the 2 guys that rebound the ball. In that first game, Taylor, he only had 12 rebounds, so he didn't do as good, but he was still a factor. Oh no, he had 16 rebounds. I'm sorry. The possible over in that game. Yeah, I don't want to bet it over at 173. You need a lot of things to go your way. That's a high total in college. That is a really high total in college. And, tempo-wise, yeah. I mean, look, Central's they love to run up and down the court. They're 4th in tempo in the country. And Toledo, for what it's worth, is a pretty good tempo team as well. Wouldn't surprise me if it went over. But I'm not, 173 is high. I mean, you need 88, 90 points apiece. It's a lot. Just saying. I'm going to go with Toledo in this one. I think to get some revenge here, I just have a feeling on this one. And they're not playing well either, CMU. And they give up 90 points a game. Toledo is improving on defense, only giving up about 67 points a game this year at home. They've really did some good things at home. So I look for them to get some revenge here tonight and beat out this Central Michigan Chippewa team. So that's going to be that one. The other game, which one is that? Let me just get to that here. Akron-Buffalo. Slightly to Akron in this spot, +2. They've lost 2 straight. Keith Dambrot is going to have them prepared tonight. I think Buffalo has definitely been another team that people have kind of fallen in love with, and they're well coached, have a nice team. I think they can definitely win this conference. But Akron at this point, I think they get a win. They've lost 2 straight. It's time to kind of wake up here, end the season on kind of a high note. And I like Akron. This isn't a great matchup for them. I think Buffalo can definitely run with them. They have some good guard play, and they're a good 3-point defense, which is good against Akron. They love to shoot the 3, but Isaiah Johnson's a load down low. I think with 3 games left, I mean, Akron isn't out of the woods in this conference. Ohio's breathing down their neck. Ball State's breathing down their neck. Buffalo. This is a big game. They need to win this one. I think they go in and get the job done here tonight. But the only 2 plays that I'm really too keen on, I like Toledo -8, and I like Green Bay, Oakland under. So I'm going to ride the trends tonight and some of the public action and fade that tonight. Boss wanted to meet me at the end of the day, almost made me miss the church of the big man. Thanks, Burns. Appreciate you chiming in and getting some time. Tell the boss to let you leave a little early. What's the story there? Up late tonight, big man, getting ready for deep card tomorrow. Yeah, another deep card tomorrow. One of the final ones of the season. You got a ton of games, and I will be breaking them all down on the Saturday sit-down. You can catch me live on Sportsbook Review, SBR Sports Picks, 10:30 Eastern. I will be on there live taking your questions. Ask me anything. I love the Zags and think they're the best team in the country, but are you a little concerned about their free throw shooting in a close game? Well, I mean, I'm always concerned about free throw shooting, clearly, but what do you have to look at? And I think this is the big misconception with free throw percentage because, again, I've made it clear I'm big on free throw percentage. I want my team to shoot a high percentage. But then I want my team to also, it's not everything. And at the end of the game, you have to also understand, are the guys at the end of the game, do they have guys that can make free throws? That's the question. And I look at this team and I see a guy, Nigel Williams-Goss, 91%. Let me say that again. Not 91%. It's very difficult to find a kid that shoots over 90% in college. There aren't many. There's only about 15 of them in the country. Nigel Williams-Goss is up there. So he's going to have the ball late in games. So, no, it doesn't bother me because it's not like they have 6 guys and none of them shoot above 70%. Josh Perkins, 77%. Jordan Matthews, 75%. Zach Collins. Yeah, again, I'm not sure what you're talking about, John. I think they're a pretty decent foul shooting team. And 74% isn't bad. If they shot 64%, well, then I'm concerned. But I mean, there's not many people on this team that can't shoot. And at the end of the game, they're not going to be in the game anyway. I mean, you look at even their bench. I mean, Silas Melson, 87%. Tilly, 79%. Are you getting confused, man, about maybe another team? Again, I don't really... if they were shooting 63%, yeah, that's concerning. But, I mean, they're actually not bad. They're right up there. Oh, yeah. If you're looking for flaws, you're not going to find many with Gonzaga. If we're trying to pick through the weeds and try to find that one, you always see as dandelions, you're trying to find that one weed, it's not going to be easy with Gonzaga. There's not many flaws that they have. They're not in the top 50. I mean, so what are they, 51st? Come on, man. They're 57th, dude. Come on. 57th out of 350. That's pretty good. You're grasping for straws. Stop trying to do that, people. Stop trying to grasp for straws with Gonzaga. They're just too good. But that'll be it, guys. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a long show today. Card's not too heavy anyway, so it won't take too long. Ben Simmons not going to play the rest of the season, like we didn't already know that. That Draymond Green stuff last night was pretty funny, pretty intriguing. Always interesting watching those teams play. But yeah, that's about it for tonight, guys. Not going to keep rolling on here. Nothing really else to talk about for me. I'll be back tomorrow, Saturday, with the Saturday sit-down. You can ask me anything. We'll go over any game you want. There's nothing here that is off limits as far as talking about things. So, join me. We'd love to have you. I'd love to chat with you. And we'll be on there at 10:30. Catch us then. What do you think about? Oh, NASCAR, sure. Yeah, I actually did a video about NASCAR. It's actually on SBR if you want to look for it. As far as NASCAR is concerned, you got Daytona this weekend, and definitely a race that with a lot of pageantry and interesting storylines. Obviously, Dale Jr. back from his his little concussion thing, and he hasn't raced in a while. And you look at the race. I mean, it's a restrictor plate race, so obviously, you got to keep in mind with that. A restrictor plate's basically, for anyone that doesn't know, it reduces airflow to the carburetor and the manifold to reduce your speed. Because on a super speedway, you're going to have a lot of high-end crashes, and they're trying to limit all that. So, a restrictor plate race, obviously, you want to look for drivers that are good at restrictor plate. Obviously, Dale Jr., he has 10 restrictor plate races, wins in his arsenal. And he's off a layoff, kind of off of, the injury. So I definitely like him for sure. He's kind of a favorite. Brad Keselowski, another favorite you got to look at. He has some unfinished business, didn't really fare too well last year in the chase. And he also has done well in restricted plate race. He has 5 wins. I also mentioned Joey Logano. I think he's always worth the look. One of the good young guys in NASCAR. Always a guy that's going to be up near the top, loves to mix it up. Problem with Joey is, he's kind of all or nothing. Sometimes he'll get mixed up and, get involved with something maybe he shouldn't have, and he wrecks and he's out. So, those are a couple guys I like. Denny Hamlin, that's a good one. He beat Truex last year in that photo finish. That was a great race last year. I'll definitely have a couple plays on NASCAR. Whether it's Dale Jr. or Logano or whoever. So we'll be back tomorrow. Feel free to check into the Saturday sit down over on SBR. We'll chat about everything going on in the world of college basketball on Saturday. Feel free to catch us in and follow me on Twitter at Jeff Nate. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.